Welcome to the first episode of Synaptic Feedback. Now I know the internet doesn't need any more game review videos, and we here at Receptor Gaming are not the most critical, but we would like to share our thoughts on the game all the same, so we'll try to keep it brief. Dragon Quest was released in Japan on May 27th, 1986 for the Famicom, but it didn't see a North American release on the NES's Dragon Warrior until August of '89. Strange to think of a time when global release dates weren't a thing. The version we recently played was a remake for Android when it came out September 11th, 2014. So let's break it down. Dragon Quest is a role-playing game where you are the descendant of the fabled Erdrick, hero of legend, and you are tasked with saving the fair Princess Gwaelin and defeating the ominous Dragon Lord. This story is very straightforward and to the point, a classic tale of damsel in distress and defeating evil which doesn't deviate. We can't think of any quest or task done in-game that doesn't relate to either of those two goals. No, it doesn't really compare to the epic AAA Hollywood-style stories or twisted indie tales that we're used to now, but for one of the first video game RPGs, and compared to other games of its time, it does just fine. We give the story a thumbs up. Our criteria for graphics is pretty straightforward. Can we easily tell what's happening on the screen? If yes, then for the purposes of this evaluation, the graphics are good. For the version that we played, everything was fine. We could tell what was on screen, and the artwork for all the different monsters was nice. There were some palette swaps, but that's par for the course for these games. We also took a look at some of the gameplay on the original, and the same holds true. There's no problem being able to see what's going on in-game. Now, keep in mind, if 8-bit sprites aren't your thing, then you might want to try one of the remakes. We give the graphics a thumbs up. For those of us who were always on the outside looking in when it came to the Dragon Quest series, it was gratifying to hear all the now classic themes that have carried forward through the years. As Final Fantasy fans, we're eager to see how everything evolves music-wise over the course of the next 10 games. Sound effects, although nothing special, were accurate to the task at hand. As the games continue to become more sophisticated, we are expecting the sound to improve as well. We give the sound a thumbs up. If you've ever played any sort of RPG, especially a Japanese one, then the basics of the combat and exploration will be familiar, albeit much more simple. This is where it all started, with video games trying to emulate the Dungeons & Dragons tabletop experience, without all the dice rolling and piles of dead birds. One of the major differences is that in the original game, actions like talking and walking up or down stairs are performed through a menu command when near the object, as opposed to just using a straight button press or by coming into direct contact. The remaster that was played did away with these oddities for the more modern method. This begs the question, does the player lose out on something by not experiencing it the old way? Maybe, especially if you're someone for whom using the old system would not have been a bother. But this version was fun all the same. All in all, everything played well, so we give the gameplay a thumbs up. So there you have it. We here at Receptor Gaming give 4 thumbs up for Dragon Quest. Our Synaptic Feedback reviews will be featured here on the channel at the end of every game. Please tune in next week where we continue the saga with Dragon Quest II. Thanks for listening.